Okay, so I've picked my concept that I want to work with. Again, I'm going to be looking at how to break it into little pieces, and then I'm going to bring in those pieces for sculpting all those really great details on. But I need a character to work from so I can get the proportions correctly. So I'm going to use our Autodesk character generator. Now, as soon as you log into the Autodesk student account, you should have access to this in your different programs. If you don't have access to this, you can also use, for example, like Fuse or DAS 3D, or even a 3D model of something that you found online, like a character. Just so that way, again, big thing I'm wanting here is just I want to get the proportions right. I want to make sure that it looks, I don't know, like a human. So we can pick through all these different kind of presets. That guy looks fine. Maybe this soccer fella, I don't know, doctor, weird alien doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this guy. So if I'm happy with him, again, I can customize him. I can change what he looks like. For this project, I don't really need any of that stuff. Again, we can kind of take a look at the clothes because I don't really need these clothes either. You know, if I could reuse some of these clothes, like if I liked the look of this long jacket or something, I could bring that into Mudbox and work from it. So, you know, we could utilize these things if we found something we liked. I'm not really sure I want any of these things. I'm going to pick this one because I don't think it's really showing any geometry. Oops, wrong button. I'm gonna see. I don't know. Perfect. Oh, wrong one. This one. There we go. Same thing again. I don't care if it's got the weird robot pattern. Here's no pants. Maybe we'll go with that. I keep clicking the wrong button. Where's the? Here it is. It's fine. We'll just keep that. Okay, and then let's see if we can remove the shoes. And here's bare feet. Again, if I wanted to, well, maybe again we have, I guess, boots, right? I could give him the boots here. Let's do that. Okay, so again, that's loading, but I don't even need the preview. And we're just going to say base male boots. And hit OK. And there he is. It might take a minute for it to load, but then when he's finished loading, what we'll do is we'll download him and putting him into Max. Okay. So I'm just going to generate the character. Looks good. Again, we can do 3ds Max FBX because I'm going to be bringing him in that. That should all be fine. Actually, technically ZBrush or ZUp would be right, but yeah, okay. Everything looks fine there, and let's just generate. And again, it may take a minute to create it, and then we'll download our model here. Okay, well, while we wait for that model to finish generating, I'm just going to come over here to 3ds Max and kind of set up some reference planes for me to use for creating my base mesh. So I'm just going to, I eyeballed it, but I guess we just literally type in the numbers here. So I'm just creating a flat plane. I do want to set this to 1 by 1. Again, the dimensions don't really matter, but we don't want any segments through the middle. That just causes difficulty. So I'm going to be creating a basic material to put on this. It doesn't even really matter what kind of material. So if you want to use PBR, which is our default now in the newer version, that's fine. Or if you have an older version, none of that matters because we're just using this in Max anyway. So I'm going to pick bitmap, and then I'm going to navigate to my downloads folder and grab that picture I found online. Somebody actually already kind of cropped it, so I have just the character with the armor I want. Let's apply it to our thing. You can see the dimensions aren't exactly correct. If I actually knew the exact dimensions, I could put them in. I'm a little lazy, so I can just see that he's too squashed, and we'll just, play with the height a bit until I'm more or less happy. Smooth this up a bit, and we'll say that's good to go. Okay. Now I could create another plane if I had a side view, but I don't really have a side view for this. Again, this armor, we're just gonna have to work from the front and back view, but that'll be fine. Okay, it looks like our guy is ready, so I'm going to click, there he is. You can see here's another character I downloaded once before, and I have it. Let's go ahead and open up my model, and we're just going to need to extract this. And extract, and there's our guy right there. Okay, we'll come back over to 3ds Max. We're going to go File, Import. Now, I will say, I'm doing a bunch of steps here, right? I created a character model. I've downloaded the character model. We're importing the character model. I've created my base mesh or my reference plane. So this is actually kind of an involved process. You know, the truth is, I don't necessarily have to do all of these steps. The reason why I'm doing them is because I'm creating a torso that's got to fit on a character. Now, obviously it won't fit on this character. I don't know what this character is, I just grabbed it. But it's going to fit a human proportion. So I have another character model later that I want to make sure this fits. I can guesstimate the human proportions and make just kind of a standard human shape for the armor. And then because Mudbox has those great sculpting tools, even if it doesn't fit my model that I want to put it on later perfectly, I can then easily just push and pull them and kind of modify it. You can even do that inside of 3ds Max with like the FFD modifier. So kind of keep that in mind. All right, it does say the file X is Y up, but I'm pretty sure that I told it Z up. So it's probably going to be, no, it worked out, okay. All right, so you can see scaling is a little bit of a difference. So here is the character that we created, and here is my reference. So that's a little bit off. It's going to be a lot easier for me to scale this thing than my character. So I'm not even going to worry about that so much. Normally, I don't use the scale tool a whole lot because it can cause some weird funkiness. Again, if I were doing the geometry, I certainly wouldn't want to do it. But right now, I'm not working on the geometry at all. I'm just trying to line him up with this. And then this image isn't going to be leaving Max. So I don't have to worry about any of that funkiness. So again, we're going to line it up. It looks pretty good and go from there. Now, I don't even necessarily need this character to really get started, but I wanted it because then when I create my base shape, I'm going to kind of play around with it a little bit to make sure it fits this human torso shape. All right. So if you're creating something, again, that's going to be on a character, you know, I want to make sure it's going to fit human proportion. I don't want it to be too squashed or too wide or whatever. That's just going to give me more work later, and I don't want to do it. So what I'm going to need to do is take my background image I want to work from, and I'm going to go to Object Properties, and in here I'm going to click Freeze, but I'm going to click one more thing. I'm going to turn off Show Frozen in Gray. Normally when you freeze an object so you can't grab it, move it, manipulate it at all, it turns all gray. In this instance, I for sure don't want that because I want to be able to see it. Now I can even just hide this guy here. I'm going to right click and do Hide Selection. You can also use the sidebar like navigation tools if you want, but that's all right. So here we go. Now I've got this lined up with my character for reference. I've got it brought in. I'm ready to begin. I feel bad that it's an 8-minute video and I'm just now starting, but let's just call this video prep and then we'll start the next one.